Yeah, this is episode 14 of the Chill with the Viper series, and now we're gonna go continue on with the Iceberg. Now, we only did partially did tier 1. I remember the last entry we did was Alcino and Head. Okay, so let's continue the first tier, JBL. John Bradshaw Layfield, or JBL, was a wrestler that his character went through several changes throughout his 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 time in WWE. First, he debuted as Justin Hawks Bradshaw, where he was supposed to be like this wrestling cowboy. Then he continued his cowboy ways by calling himself Blackjack Bradshaw as part of the new Bradshaw. Part of the new Blackjack. Then he became Bradshaw. Originally, one half of the Acolyte, and then which was initially essentially Undertaker's goons, essentially. Then they later became the APA, becoming beer drinking, ass kicking bodyguards for hire, essentially. So yeah. And then when Farouk retired from wrestling in 2004, he essentially had another gimmick came, this time to a Wall Street millionaire. So yeah, a Texan millionaire. Who was essentially rich, essentially, so yeah. And he would actually, for the longest time, he was the longest reigning WWE champion in SmackDown history for the longest time. I think that was until AJ Styles broke it in the 2010s. So yeah, JBL had retired from in-ring competition in 2009 following WrestleMania 25 when he lost to Rey Mysterio and lost his Intercontinental Championship in the process. One Man Gang. One Man Gang was a wrestler who essentially was like this biker character, like this biker-esque character who essentially beat people up. So yeah. However, even though this is one of the characters the dude was known for, let's take a look. So yeah, One Man Gang. I don't really know much about One Man Gang, but I know that he was a wrestler from the 80s and 90s, bro. So yeah, mostly 80s. So yeah. So yeah, bro. Although the One Man Gang character didn't initially start in the WWF, as it started a couple of years prior in territories. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. Like, it actually started in Mid-South Wrestling, the One Man Gang character. So yeah. And he's one of the more well-known heels in Mid-South and WF. So yeah. Even feuding with the likes of Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. So yeah. So yeah, bruh. However, over time, he would be repackaged into Akeem the African Dream, a, a, a supposed African wrestler. But in reality, this dude was white as hell in reality. So yeah, and also he's technically from Chicago. On top of that, so yeah. So yeah, that's crazy, bro. And and yeah, yeah. Let's move on to the next one. Don't know much about One Man Gang. So one thing I do know is 3MB, three man band. 3MB or three man band is a stable originally consists of Heath Slater, Drew McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal. And then it was late. Then Hornswoggle was later added to the group. So yeah, remember when we covered Hornswoggle in the last episode, yeah, guys? So yeah, basically this group were essentially a made up band who basically played air guitar, bruh. There's like this running gag that whenever they try to start their performance, they often get cut off, bruh. Yeah, honestly, they were a pretty entertaining group, bruh. Despite being jobbers most of the time, so yeah. So the group ended when both Drew and Jinder were both released from the WWE in 2014, leaving Keith Slater by himself. So yeah. The notable thing one of the notable things from 3MB was that whole WeLC match on the Extreme Rules kickoff show. It was between El Torito and Hornswoggle, bro. Two mini wrestlers. So yeah. Anyways, let's go. Rocky Maivia. Rocky Maivia is a wrestler who you best know as The Rock. But before he was The Rock, he was Rocky Maivia. He made his debut at Survivor Series 1996 in a Survivor Series elimination match. He ended up winning the match for his team. And he would be Intercontinental Champion. So, over time, people were starting to boo him over time. Even at one point, some fans even brought the "Die Rocky Die" sign, and some people chanted said chant at events. This ended up resulting in The Rock turning heel in 1997, joining the Nation of Domination, which actually helped turn his career around. So yeah, as his character was getting a bit stale at the time. So yeah, although over time in the Nation of Domination, he would slowly stop using the Rocky Maivia name and became The Rock. Now these next two gimmicks, I'm gonna link together because they're both essentially are connected to each other. First one is Goldberg. Goldberg was a wrestler who wrestled for WCW. So before he was a wrestler, dude was an NFL player. Yeah. And this is a common thing you'll see with wrestlers, is that you see wrestling and football go together like peanut butter and jelly. So yeah. So yeah. And the team that Goldberg played for in the NFL was the Atlanta Falcons. So yeah. And yeah. And he's best known for his winning streak of supposed winning streak of 173-0. So yeah. I guess this includes both. televised and house show matches. So yeah. So yeah. Like, look at his streak, bro. His streak started at starting a dark match on Nitro on June 23rd, 1997, when he defeated Buddy Lee Parker. Yeah, you know, this dumbass right here that was involved with the power plant and treated the trainees like shit, bro. Yeah, I saw that power plant documentary for WCW, bro. Like, Buddy Lee Parker can honestly kiss my ass. Like, he essentially treated the trainees like if it's a drill, like if he's a drill sergeant or something. Like, bro, these wrestlers are trained. These people are trained to be wrestlers, not army men, bro. Like, for real. I get that's your character on TV, but damn, bro, like. Anyways, I'm getting a bit off topic. So yeah. For his first five matchups, they were all either dark matches or house shows. So yeah. Hell, starting a dark match on WCW Saturday Night, he actually lost 5 matches in, bruh, to a wrestler named Chad Fortune. So yeah. Which makes me think, wow. That's crazy. That's actually pretty crazy if you ask me, bruh. The reason why I said alleged because I think WCW basically exaggerates the numbers essentially. So yeah. So essentially, he was undefeated for about 5 matches at first, bro. And then his first televised appearance came on Nitro on September 22nd, 1997, when he defeated Hugh Morris on an episode of Nitro. So yeah. So yeah. Okay, so at first he faced off against jobbers and lower card talent initially. So yeah. It was crazy, bro. But I'm guessing, my only guess is that I guess the house shows didn't count. But I was gonna say that, but look at this. House shows below, bro. Saw him win, bro. Like, god damn, bro. Let me look down, bro. So yeah. A lot of this counts house shows worldwide and shit like that. Saturday night. So yeah. Which is a lot, bro. So down. They showed a bunch of house shows, bro. So it comes to show you that Goldberg was not actually 173-0, bro. Hell, he actually lost in his 6th match in WCW, bro. Even though by that point he has yet to have a televised matchup, he lost in his 6th matchup, bro. Here's the proof right here. He lost to a nobody named Chad Fortune, bro. During a taping of WCW Saturday Night, bro. Though it was a dark match, though. to show you that no, he did not. He wasn't undefeated for 173 matches. No, they just infuriated. WWE just infuriated the numbers to make him more interesting, bro. So yeah, kind of shows you that the winning streak was kind of bullshit for the most part, bro. Like if you do the math, bro. Let's start with his seventh matchup, his first televised matchup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so yeah. So technically he won 156 straight matches, technically. So not 173, bro. Like people think, like those 30 wants you to think, bro. So yeah. Which I do apologize for actually disappointing people, but yeah, Goldberg won 156 straight matches, not 173, bro. But yeah. And speaking of Goldberg, the next one I want to talk about is Goldberg. While Goldberg was at the height of his popularity, WWF decided to parry him by turning Dwayne Gill into Goldberg. Now, heading into the character change, Dwayne Gill was the light heavyweight champion heading into the Gimmicks team, and he was regularly defending the title. But once he became Goldberg, damn, he never defended the title when he was Goldberg, bro. If you look at Cage Match, you can see that all the defenses as Goldberg came from non-WWF events. So yeah. Basically making the light heavyweight title an afterthought. And what WWF was trying to do was trying to have Goldberg match Goldberg's streak. But for Goldberg, instead of winning matches, he would lose matches. So yeah. So the character was gone. The character was gone in 2000, shortly after losing the light heavyweight title to S.A. Rios and Heat. So yeah, though he would make sporadic appearances. Speaking of Goldberg, when Goldberg came into WWE in 2003, he was, best way to put it, he was poorly booked at points. But bro, they try to have him wrestle longer matches, even though that Goldberg at best can only wrestle like 2-minute matches. So yeah, hell, William Regal, aka Steven Regal, got fired from WCW for essentially exposing Goldberg. As Regal essentially exposed Goldberg as not being as good of a wrestler as people think. So yeah. See, that's how they hide his weakness, is to have him only compete in 2-minute matches. So yeah. So yeah. Which is fucking crazy, bro. And hell, I still think Goldberg should have won the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam, but sadly he didn't. As Triple H for some reason retained. Even though that heading into the match, Hunter was suffering a groin injury prior to the event. So the logical thing was to have him drop the title to Goldberg, right? But to WWE, to them it makes too much sense. They decide, just have Triple H retain. Like, a lot of fans were pissed at that decision, including even myself, even though that I was too young to watch WWE at the time, as I was only turning 2 in 2003. So yeah. Roman Reigns, the Big Dog. Now, the Big Dog character lasted from 2014 to 2020. This happened after the Shield broke up, after Seth Rollins turned his back on his Shield teammates. So yeah. And WWE was really trying to push Roman Reigns down our throats, bro. And they want us to like him. And we was having none of it, bro. As for the reason why we had none of it is obvious because WWE tries to shove him down our throats, bro. Even at the expense of people like Daniel Bryan, who actually became a fan favorite, and actually, and his, and he actually naturally grew with the fans. So yeah, he naturally became popular. So yeah. Hell, they even try to fuck over the Royal Rumble 2016 just to get Roman Reigns over, but no one was having any of it. I think the only time people ever sympathized with Roman Reigns during this time period was when he had leukemia, because that was not him being Roman Reigns. That was him being Joe Anoa'i, his real name. So yeah. So yeah. And then they actually pushed him way too soon, having him win multiple world titles. Even though that I think he didn't deserve it, bro. Hell, he even main event WrestleMania 9 times. Yes, 9 fucking times. More than any other wrestler ever. More than John Cena, more than Hulk Hogan, more than Ric Flair, more than fucking Undertaker, more than Steve Austin, more than the fucking Rock, bro. His cousin, bro. Hell, for most of those shits, I don't think Roman Reigns deserves the main event. Hell, I don't think he deserved the main event until he became the tribal chief. With the exception of WrestleMania 31, as I feel like he did deserve WrestleMania 31's main event. Mainly because of the whole Heist of the Century thing with Seth Rollins. So yeah. But for WrestleMania 32, 33, and 34, he did not deserve to be there. Hell, he had horrible matches with Triple H, The Undertaker, and Brock Lesnar the second time around. So yeah. Hell, I remember WWE trying to shove Reigns versus Lesnar down our throats a shit ton of times, bro. And we was having none of it, bro. So yeah. Thankfully, when Roman Reigns took time off in 2020 because of the pandemic and how he was concerned about his own health, that actually became a blessing in disguise, because had he not taken time off, we probably would have not gotten the tribal chief character we have today. Sting. Sting is a wrestler who's been wrestling since the 80s. Originally his character was a surfer-esque character, or at least he had the appearance of a surfer. Then he became the Crow-inspired character, so yeah. Being silent and shit, so yeah. He would actually become successful in WCW, becoming its multi-time world champion, and United States and tag team champion, so yeah. However, and hell, he even had success in TNA as well, becoming its multi-time world champion. However, when he came to WWE, while his debut was amazing, though his wrestling career was pretty lackluster in WWE. He lost to Triple H at WrestleMania 31. Basically, WWE putting the final nail in the coffin for WCW, essentially. And he lost at Night of Champions 2015 to Seth Rollins, which caused him to temporarily retire from wrestling due to injury. And Sting did say that the reason why he didn't want to go to WWE initially because of how the company mistreated WCW wrestlers. And given how he was treated in 2015, makes you think that he was right in that scenario to turn them down initially. Joe Hendry. Oh shit, I said his name. Is he here? Is he here? Is he here? Joe Hendry? How the fuck is he not here, bro? Like, because I heard when he say his name, he appears. Like, how the hell does he not appear, bro? Like, for real. Is he hiding under my bed? No? Damn it. I said his name. Bro. Like, what the hell? Yeah, he's no... Yeah, he was a wrestler that was in the Indies for years before coming to TNA. So, yeah. He had a song called I Believe in Joe Hendry. So, yeah. And he even became the world champion. And now, he made some appearances for WWE as part of the company's relationship with TNA. So yeah. Still pissed off that I just said his name, but he doesn't appear, bro. Because TNA says that if you say Joe Hendry's name, his ass will appear, bro. The Nexus. The Nexus were a group of wrestlers that consist of wrestlers who participated in season 1 of the game show NXT. So yeah. Those wrestlers were Wade Barrett, Justin Gabriel, Heath Slater, David Otunga, Michael Tarver, who else? Daniel Bryan, Skip Sheffield, and who else was there? I got the names: Wade Barrett, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, David Otunga, Michael Tarver. Wait, let me count. Barrett, Gabriel, Slater, Tarver, Darren Young. Yes, Darren Young. I almost forgot Darren Young, bruh. Yeah, so it's Wade Barrett, Darren Young, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, Michael Tarver, Skip Sheffield, David Otunga, and Daniel Bryan. So 8 of the wrestlers, bruh. And Wade Barrett won season 1 of NXT. And then a few days later, they would make their main roster debut on Raw, attacking everyone at sight in the ring. They attacked John Cena, CM Punk, the commentators, hell, even the ring announcer. Speaking of the ring announcer, Daniel Bryan ended up getting fired after this episode of Raw for choking ring announcer Justin Roberts with his own tie, as the sponsors deemed it too violent. So yeah, for the PG rating. So yeah, as Daniel Bryan was out of the group, and the debut was pretty good, minus the firing of Daniel Bryan. And for 2 months they continued to attack anyone and everyone in their sight, essentially. So yeah. This led to John Cena with various WWE superstars. Yes, even Bret Hart to face off against the Nexus in a 7v7 match at SummerSlam. Originally, the Great Khali was meant to take part in the match, but as part of Team WWE, but he got injured prior to the event. So in his place would be the returning Daniel Bryan, who returned after getting fired shortly after this group's main roster debut. So yeah. And originally the Nexus was meant to go over. Hell, even Edge and Chris Jericho told Wade Barrett that the group was going to go over. And they said that heading into the event. However, John Cena decided to change the finish of the match. Hell, even Edge and Jericho told Cena that this was not the right decision, as they wanted the Nexus to go over, but Cena did not want to lose to the Nexus. And even Vince McMahon told Wade Barrett that he was losing because, so need a happy ending. But in reality, Cena himself changed the match. Changed the finish of the match. The match was good, minus the finish. Like, I'll tell you what the finish was. So Cena was the only one left in Team WWE, and representing the Nexus that was left were Wade Barrett and Justin Gabriel. And Barrett actually DDT'd Cena onto the concrete floor. And then Justin Gabriel was going to go for the 450 splash, but then he missed, and then Cena eliminates Gabriel, and then puts Wade Barrett into the STF, and he wins by submission. A lot of people did not like the ending of the match. Hell, they felt like that the Nexus should have won, and as a John Cena fan myself, I'm gonna have to agree with the fans by saying that the Nexus should have went over, bro, because they were essentially taking down anyone and everyone in the WWE heading into SummerSlam, only for them to lose. Like, okay, you might think one loss was bad enough, but nah, they would start. This will start their downfall. As even though that they got some wins here and there, hell, even at one point forcing Cena to join the Nexus, this did not work. Considering that Cena would just beat their ass there and there. Hell, even after he was kayfabe fired from WWE at Survivor Series 2010, he would still beat up the Nexus members to the point where David Otunga threatens to kick Wade Barrett out if he doesn't rehire John Cena. So yeah. And yeah, they went from being a huge threat to begging Cena to come back because he's hurting them. Like what? The group would only last until Money in the Bank 2011, after CM Punk won the WWE Championship. Who, by the way, replaced Wade Barrett as the leader in late December 2010. So yeah. No wait, in early January 2011, technically. So yeah. Hell, they even tried again with two different groups for the Nexus, the Core and the New Nexus. So both of those groups were gone in the summer of 2011. Core would be gone first, and then it would be the New Nexus. Although David Otunga and Michael McIntyre would continue to team up after Money in the Bank 2011, it was without the Nexus branding after Money in the Bank 2011. So yeah, the greater power. I think with this one, I think the person was referring to the higher power. What happened was that the corporation and the Ministry of Darkness merged into the corporate ministry. So yeah, that they target, and they mainly target Vince McMahon and Steve Austin. And Undertaker says that they're doing the deeds of the higher power. And then the higher power comes, and look and behold, it was Vince McMahon. So yeah. And nobody liked this decision, bro. And he says his famous words, "It's me, Austin," with Jim Ross saying, "Son of a bitch." And then he's like, "It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin." Jesus Christ. Hey, dude. That was crazy, bro. And I think Vince McMahon was not the original person from that was going to be part of the shit, bro. So yeah. I think from what I know, is that what I know is that this man was not the original person. I think the original person was meant to be Christopher Daniels, I think. So yeah. Yeah, bro. Oh, sorry. I'm getting to lose track, guys. You know what, anyways, let's just go to the next one. Retribution. Retribution was a faction that essentially invaded WWE. So yeah, basically made of wrestlers who were from NXT, bro. So yeah, and their goal was to destroy WWE. So yeah, bro. Originally, the group consists of Mace, not to be confused with the rapper of the same name. The rapper is spelled Mace. The wrestler is spelled Mace. So yeah, so yeah. Who was portrayed by Mason Madden or Dio Madden. Slapjack, who was portrayed by James Thorne. T-Bar, who was portrayed by Donovan Dijak or Dominic Dijakovic. Sorry for mispronunciation. Reckoning, Mia Yim as Reckoning, and Mercedes Martinez as Retaliation. Unfortunately, Martinez herself would actually back out from the group shortly afterwards, as she preferred to go back to NXT. So yeah, bro, which is crazy, bro. So yeah. I want to see when Martinez left the group. So yeah. Yeah. It was shortly after the group was formed. And yeah. And it was revealed later in 2020 that Mustafa Ali was the one that was leading the group. So yeah. So yeah, bro. At Fastlane, the group was disbanded at Fastlane in 2021. So yeah. The group had showed a lot of promise. Just like with the Nexus, they showed a lot of promise early on, only to fall flat in his face shortly afterwards. So yeah. Yeah. Afterwards, Mason T-Bar would tune will continue the tag team. Most, yeah, having their Retribution look, but not the name. Reckoning and Slapjack were gone from WWE television. So in the 2001 WWE draft, Mason T-Bar will be split up. T-Bar on Raw, Mason on SmackDown. So yeah. Reckoning will go back to being Mia Yim. So yeah. 2021 Retaliation, Slapjack, and Mia Yim were all released for WWE. So yeah. Although Yim herself would later return to WWE a year later. So yeah. And Mace would go on to be part of the maximum male models. So yeah. So yeah. And also, and T-Bar would go back to using his previous name. So yeah. So yeah. Like most of the people who were there are released currently. So yeah. I think the hell, the only member of Retribution as of now that's still in the WWE is Reckoning, aka Mia Yim. She's the only one that was from Retribution that's still part of WWE. So yeah. So yeah. But now she refers to herself as Mi Chin currently, which means I think it means crazy in Korean. So yeah. So yeah. R-Truth and Lil Jimmy. R-Truth is a wrestler who wrestled in both WWE and TNA. Initially, he was in the WWF in 2000 as part of a tag team with Road Dogg before he would be gone in 2001. So yeah. And then he would go on to be in TNA from becoming founding in 2002 all the way up until I think it was around 07, 08, I think, when he would be known as initially as K Crush, but and later known as Ron the Truth Killing. So yeah, and he actually was pretty successful in TNA. So yeah, becoming a two-time world champion and a multi-time tag team champion. So yeah. And yeah, and in 2008, R-Truth would make his return to WWE, being a person who is known for dancing, bro, and rapping. Something that he previously did in TNA. So yeah. So yeah. Now the little Jimmy character debuted when R-Truth was a heel in 2011. So yeah. Crazy to think that R-Truth was at one point a heel. So yeah. But he was a heel a couple of times. But one of those times being in TNA. So yeah. So in 2011 he would be a heel. So yeah. It's crazy, bro. And he was a character called Little Jimmy. So yeah. So yeah. Hell, hell, Truth even feuded against Cena for the W title at one point. So yeah. Yeah, and and Lil Jimmy, the Lil Jimmy thing started on June 6, 2011 edition of Raw. So yeah, where R-Truth is seen wearing a uniform, singing a song about Lil Jimmy, which yeah he refers to the kids in the crowd. So yeah, the whole Lil Jimmy thing would actually last heading into 2012, bro. Even after he turned face again. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. I guess I guess by the end of 2012, the little Jimmy character was phased out. So yeah, can't really pinpoint the exact moment that the little Jimmy character was was discontinued, but yeah, R Truth would actually be funny as honestly R Truth is funny as hell, bro. Like he'd be having some of the most funniest moments in WWE history, in my opinion. So yeah, it's actually cool that he's actually one of the very few people to actually win the WWF Hardcore and the WWE 24/7 Championship. He had 54 reigns with the 24/7 Championship and 2 reigns with the Hardcore title. That's something you didn't know, young guys. So yeah, which is fucking crazy if you ask me. So yeah, so yeah. And R Truth is a rapper, bro. Like he's an actual rapper, bro. As on his YouTube channel, he has songs on his channel, bro. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool. And he actually had 3 studio albums. In- Invincible, Killing It, and Legacy. So yeah. And speaking of hip hop, did you know that R Truth once met Tupac? Yeah, that I can show you, bro. He even tells it on Hot 97, bro. So yeah. And there's even a picture of him and Tupac together. So yeah. Wow. Not only did he met Tupac, but he also met Eazy-E as well. So yeah. So yeah, here it is. He met both Tupac and Eazy-E, bro, before their untimely passings, bro. Rest in peace to both Eazy-E and Tupac, y'all guys. So yeah. But that's pretty cool that he met both of them. So yeah. Michael Cole heel character. Oh boy. Oh fucking boy, bro. Michael Cole as a heel, bro. Like, this was a really annoying time in 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 WWE history. The heel Michael Cole character lasted from 2010 to 2012. So yeah, initially it started on the first season of Game Show NXT, where he would antagonize Daniel Bryan. So yeah, so yeah, and and he would essentially start dick riding the Miz. So yeah, that's what he was doing during his heel run, bro. So yeah, yeah. Hell, the heel Michael Cole character would actually make his way to the main roster. So yeah, in late 2010, where he interfered in a TLC match for the W Championship between Jerry Lawler and The Miz, causing Lawler the title. So yeah, so yeah, so yeah. And this would actually start a horrible feud, and I'm dead serious, a horrible feud with between Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler. One of the things I know about this feud is that they had horrible matches, and they try to bring back Brian Christopher, aka Grandmaster Sexy, to WWE at one point, but no one was buying it, bro. So yeah, and yeah, at WrestleMania they had a horrible match. You want to know how much time they took out of WrestleMania 27 for this horrible match? Okay, so the match itself lasted 13 minutes and 48 seconds. So yeah, bro. But the whole segment as a whole lasted 33. Yes, 33 fucking minutes, bruh. The whole segment lasted. That's longer than your average episode of Family Guy or The Simpsons. So yeah. So yeah. Initially, Jerry Lawler won the match against Michael Cole. However, the anonymous Raw GM be like, oh, because Austin interfered, Lawler gets disqualified, and Michael Cole wins by DQ, which pissed off fans even more. We was already pissed off that the match was even happening in the first place, but now pissed off even more that Cole wins by disqualification. So yeah, all because Steve Austin was involved in the match. Oh, by the way, Steve Austin was the guest referee for that matchup. So yeah, which led to the match, which led to the feud lasting for 2 more months. 2 more fucking months, bro. Like, what the hell? They would have a tag team match at Extreme Rules where Michael Cole and Jack Swagger take on Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler, which Cole and Swagger won. And then a final match at Over the Limit between Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler in a Kiss My Foot match. So yeah. And Lawler beat Cole in the matchup and making Cole kiss his own feet. Then, although he would apologize to Jerry Lawler the next night on Raw, he would continue his heel character. So not as much comparing to late 2010, early 2011, as he would slowly calm down the heel character around that time, but so yeah. So yeah, but so yeah, but okay, so yeah. you might be wondering, what caused Michael Cole to return to being a face, bro. When did he turn face again, officially? He turned face again officially in 2012, yeah, guys. Yep, 2012, bro. You have to wait until 2012 for him to turn face, and turn face. He returned to being a face after a real life heart attack occurred on WWE programming. So yeah, as Jerry the King Lawler would actually suffer an actual heart attack on the September 10th, 2012 episode of Raw. So yeah. Hell, Michael Cole provided us updates on Lawler's condition throughout the night. So yeah. Yeah, and this moment, so yeah, it took a real life heart attack of his fellow commentator for Cole to return to being a full fledged babyface. So yeah, that's fucking crazy, bro. Which is fucking crazy, bro. And since September 2012, Cole has been a babyface ever since. So yeah. Dear Mahan. Oh, okay, I know this is a more recent study character, but I don't even know who the fuck this dude is, bro. All I can remember is how they hyped his ass up, bro, at one point. Oh, I think I missed his page, though. Oh, he's an actor, bro. So, yeah. Wait, he was a baseball player? Damn. He was part of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Although, he only played for their minor league teams. Sadly, so yeah. So yeah, which is crazy to think about, bro. So yeah. So yeah. Anyways, let's go. They actually hyped his ass up, bro. So yeah. Mm. So yeah. As although he wasn't put on the main roster in 2021 as part of the tag team in the Sphere or Indian Tigers and Hindi, I think. So yeah. So he would he would be put back down to Valmel in 2022. So yeah. And then he would go back up to the main roster in 2023. So yeah. So yeah, they actually promoted him as a. I remember his hype packages, and I basically forgot that he was around because he wasn't really on the main roster all that much. So yeah, Ravishing Rick Rude. Ravishing Rick Rude was a wrestler from the '80s, as he had this like sexy man type gimmick with abs and a mustache and shit like that. and they said that women love him and men want to be him. So yeah, he always be loving the ladies, and he was actually a pretty good heel too. So yeah, Rude will be gone. I think in 1990s he will be gone from the WWE. So yeah, he would go to WCW and become the United States champion. So he would suffer an injury that would end his career in the mid '90s. So yeah, and in the WWF he was Intercontinental champion once. So, yeah, former Intercontinental and United States champion. So yeah. So did you know that Rick Rude was actually one of the founding members of DX? It was him, China, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H. So yeah. And it was honestly crazy around that time where you see Rick Rude with a full-fledged beard in 1997, bro. So yeah. I'll show you proof, bro. I'll show you proof. Okay, Rick Rude 1997. So yeah. Yeah, like this dude had a beard on occasions, bro. So yeah. He especially had a beard in WWF and ECW, bro. Which is crazy, bro. So yeah. Because everybody is so used to just seeing him with a mustache as opposed to a full-fledged beard. So yeah. $1 million. Sadly for Rick Rude, he passed away in 1999. But yeah. $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase was a wrestler who was known for being in the WWF as the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. As he was supposed to be like a rich millionaire, bro. Who would say that everyone's got a price? So yeah. And he had this servant called Virgil. So yeah. So yeah, bro. And it's actually a pretty good deal in the WWF. Hell. Hell. He would actually try to buy the WWF title at one point. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah, bro. So yeah. Like, and he would actually do challenges. He'll have regular people do like various challenges. So yeah. So, yeah. So yeah. So yeah, bro. That was actually. So yeah, bro. You actually, Teddy Yossi would actually just. So yeah, he would actually have people perform various acts for money, bro. And no, not like that, yeah, guys. So yeah, like one, like one skit actually put actually as a young boy, bouncing a basketball 15 times. However, right when he got to 14, Ted himself actually kicked the ball away, basically saying him without, basically him failing the challenge essentially. Like, bro, like Ted, you cost that boy the challenge, bro. Like, bro. But Ted actually did reveal in his autobiography that people who weren't paid on camera, they were actually paid anyways, just off screen, bro. So yeah. And he would stuff $100 bills to mouth wrestlers. So yeah. So yeah. There's actually one notable occasion where there was actually one occasion where a young Rob Van Dam himself, yes, Rob Van Dam at one point on WF television, he actually was given a task to kiss Ted DiBiase's feet for money, which he successfully did. Which Ted actually gives RVD the money. So yeah, wow, that's fucking crazy. And that time where he tried to buy off the WF title, well, he tried to buy it off after Andre defeated Hulk Hogan to win the WF title on the February 5th, 1988 edition of The Main Event. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah, bro. Hell. Hell, they even showed some footage, some old wrestling footage with DiBiase with the WF Championship. However, the then WF president, Jack Tunney, would strip Andre of the belt and not hand it over to DiBiase himself, as he decided to nullify the DiBiase championship reign in general and vacate the WF title. So yeah, where a tournament was held at WrestleMania 4. Originally, DiBiase himself was actually originally scheduled to win the WF title at WrestleMania 4. However, it ended up getting changed to Randy Savage. The reason why, guys, because the original plans for the Intercontinental title match at WrestleMania 4 was for Honky Tonk Man to drop the Intercontinental title to Randy Savage. And that the original plan for the tournament finals for the WF title was that DiBiase was meant to beat Hogan by countout win the WF title. However, the plans for both the tournament and the Intercontinental title match were changed after Honky Tonk Man refused to drop the Intercontinental title to Randy Savage. So as a result, 30 kind of mixed up the tournament a little bit to have Savage beat DiBiase to win the WF title. And as a result, this ultimately led to the creation of the $1 Million Championship, which was a championship belt that looks like a Rolex watch, if I'm being honest, with dollar signs all over it. So yeah. So I think around 1993, DiBiase would retire from wrestling because of injuries. But yeah. The Iron Sheik was a wrestler who is one of the more well-known heel wrestlers. He was a wrestler from Iran. So yeah. And he ended Bob Backlund's multi-year reign as WWF champion in 1983. So yeah. Wow. And the Iron Sheik is from Iran in real life. So yeah. That's crazy, bro. And he's the only Iranian born champion in WWE history. Wow. So yeah. So he would be, so he would end up losing the WWF title to Hulk Hogan in January of 1984, basically leading to the launch of Hulkamania. So he would win the tag titles later on with Nikolai Volkov. So yeah. And he would tag team with him for a couple of years. So yeah. So yeah. That's crazy, bro. So yeah. Crazy that this team teamed up for a few years. So yeah. And yeah. And the duo would have a reunion. The duo would wrestle from 1984 to 1987. So they did make a one-off return as a tag team in 1999 during that infamous Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view. So yeah. So yeah. Hell, he's known for he's more known for his shoot interviews later on. Hating on wrestlers like Hulk Hogan and shit. So yeah. Hell, did you know that Iron Sheik himself is actually the one that created the term jabroni? Yeah, he actually did create the term jabroni, so yeah. So yeah. Which is actually crazy. So sadly he passed away in 2023. So yeah. So yeah. Let's search up the word jabroni, guys. While the word jabroni was popularized by The Rock, it was first used by the Iron Sheik. So yeah, there it is. It was popularized by The Rock, but was originally used by the Iron Sheik. So yeah. So yeah. Anyways, damn, already, bro. We're already at 73 minutes, bro. I want to get to the gameplay and shit. Toru Yano. Toru Yano is a Japanese wrestler. So yeah. I think I heard him probably. He was a comic relief character, yeah. So yeah. So yeah. I don't really know much about Yano himself. So yeah. But he did wrestle for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So yeah. And he formed Chaos Wrestling. So yeah. Wow. You know what the crazy thing is? That several New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestlers actually make appearances in Yakuza 6, The Song of Life. That is fucking crazy, bro. So yeah. Okay, so next one is Yoshi Niko. I'm honestly kind of stuck on this one, bro. Yeah. Let's see who that person. Oh, so it's a fucking blow up doll from DDT Pro Wrestling. So yeah, it's crazy that a blow up doll has their own fucking Wikipedia page. So yeah. So yeah. And god fucking damn. That fucking blow up doll has won titles, bruh. Like, what the hell? So yeah. It's just fucking crazy, bro. Wow. Hell, matter of fact, DDT Pro Wrestling, I actually definitely heard of DDT Pro Wrestling. They're like the more comedic wrestling promotion in Japan. So yeah. Next one is, oh boy, Logan Paul. Logan Paul is a fucking YouTuber, bro. Who's a fucking douchebag, bro. And and before you act, and before I get to him, I do want to apologize in advance if it sounds biased because I fucking hate the Paul brothers, bro. They're both are such huge douchebags on YouTube, bro. So yeah, they be doing crazy and douchebag shit. So yeah, and they're both fucking unlikable in my opinion. So yeah, hell, even wrestling fans hated him, bro. So yeah, they hated how much of a douchebag he is. So yeah, including myself, bro. And I feel like he takes up airtime from wrestlers who deserve to be on TV, bro. And to make it worse, now he's officially a part of the WWE roster, bro. Which pisses me off, bro. Hell, hell, me and my own family hates him as well. So yeah. And speaking of people that's hated, let's move on to the next one. Speaking on people who's hated. Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Dirty Dominic Mysterio is a wrestler that's part of the Raw roster. He's the son of WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio Jr. And yeah, he initially had appearances in WWE in the 2000s when he was a kid. Most notably, most notably in 2005, during the build-up between Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero in a ladder match for the custody of Dominic Mysterio. So yeah, which Rey ended up winning. Fun fact: I know this is a little off topic, but during the ladder match, there was a botch that happened, and then with Eddie Guerrero slamming the mat, yelling, "Where the fuck is Vicky?" Basically, Vicky Guerrero missed her cue during that matchup. Anyways, let's get back to the shit. Even though that Dominic Mysterio made a couple of appearances when he was a child in WWE, he would make his official main roster debut in 2020 when he faced off against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Even though he was unsuccessful, he would become a part of the roster. So yeah. However, he would end up turning heel, turning his back on his father, Rey Mysterio, and his tag team partner Edge, following Clash of the Castle against the Judgment Day. So yeah, and Dominic would end up joining Judgment Day. So yeah, which led to their match at WrestleMania 39. between Ray and Dominic. Hell, Dominic would become one of the most hated men on the roster because he turned his back on his father. And when people see him, everyone straight up boos him, bruh. So much so that at one point, I remember at Elimination Chamber 2024, the feed was temporarily cut off for a few seconds because during the whole thing, one of the fans was pointing the middle finger at Dominic Mysterio. So yeah. So yeah. Hell, even Michael Cole hated Dirty Dom himself. So yeah. As he would get upset at Dirty Dom for being a heel, for being a fucking snake. So yeah. Now even recently Finn Balor called Dirty Dom a snake for trying to recruit Penta for the Judgment Day. After Penta declared that he wanted an Intercontinental title shot. So yeah. Next one. Vince Russo. Yeah, everyone knows who Vince Russo is. So yeah. He is known for essentially providing some of the worst moments in WCW history. Even though that he initially worked for the WWF, while he provided some good moments for the WWF, he provided a lot. He's more known for providing horrible moments for WCW and to the lesser extent TNA. Hell, believe it or not, he also won WCW World Title from Booker T, bruh. So yeah. Pulling swerves left and right in WCW, bruh. Even though WCW was going downhill around the time when Russo joined the company, he essentially made the situation worse, essentially. So yeah. Hell, he even booked some terrible shit in TNA. Like, for example, you remember that fucking blindfold steel cage match between Chris Harris and James Storm? Yeah, that was horrible. Even went as far as to can't fire Russo. Even though Russo was fired from TNA, so the company did bring him back in secret to help book their shows. However, when the television network Spike TV found out about this whole thing, they essentially kicked TNA off of their network, bro. As a result. Yes, so Vince Russo was essentially the reason why TNA was kicked out of Spike TV. So yeah, as the channel was known as at the time. So yeah. So yeah. Basically, he was somewhat responsible for the downfall of TNA. So yeah, as well. Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff initially was a WCW announcer before becoming somewhat of an authority figure for WCW. So yeah. As he became one of the earliest heel authority figures in wrestling. So he was actually the second heel authority figure in pro wrestling. As did you know that the first ever heel authority figure in wrestling was actually Herb Abrams from his variant of the UWF. Say yeah. Because note that there was actually two companies called Universal Wrestling Federation. The Bill Watts version and the Herb Abrams version. So yeah. So yeah. Bischoff would be gone from the company. I think in 2000 he was gone from the company. So he would make his way to WWE in 2002, becoming the general manager of Monday Night Raw. So yeah. He will carry on as his role as GM of Raw. Hell, he even feuded with the likes of Steve Austin, Shane McMahon, and even John Cena. So yeah. So he would be gone from WWE in late 2005, and would make sporadic appearances since. Hell, hell, that's not the end of it. He actually made his way to TNA alongside Hulk Hogan in 2010. So yeah. And he would become a heel authority figure for that company too, bro. Like, for real. For a few years before he left the company. So yeah. So yeah. John Laurinaitis. Johnny Ace, or John Laurinaitis, was a wrestler, back, road agent, and on-screen authority figure. He was a wrestler in the U.S. He wrestled under the Dynamic Dudes tag team alongside Shane Douglas, and he was a flop in the U.S. Though he would have modest success in Japan, wrestling in tag teams, winning the tag titles a number of times from All Japan Pro Wrestling. So yeah. So in the 2000s, he would become executive vice president of talent and relations. So yeah, but he would do that for a few years before becoming the interim general manager of Monday Night Raw in 2011. Before becoming the GM of both Raw and SmackDown at WrestleMania 28. So he would stop appearing on screen after No Way Out of 2012, as part of a stipulation in a match between John Cena and The Big Show, where if Cena wins, John Laurinaitis would be fired from WWE. But if Big Show won, Cena would be fired. And since Cena won, John Laurinaitis was fired. So yeah. But nowadays, people know John Laurinaitis being the scumbag he is behind the scenes. He essentially kicked Jim Ross out of his position as head of talent relations. And also, he was one of the people involved with the whole Vince McMahon scandals. So yeah. So yeah. You know what? I'm trying to spell Laurinaitis' last name. You know what? I'm just gonna put his ring name Johnny Ace. So yeah. The end. He would be gone from WWE in 2022. So yeah. Yeah. Look. He was involved with the allegations, John Laurinaitis. Not only it was Vince, Laurinaitis, and to some extent Brock Lesnar involved with these whole situations, allegedly. Mainly with one of the former WWE employees, Janelle Grant. So yeah, because of how they were essentially trafficking her to both Laurinaitis and Lesnar. So yeah. So yeah. You want to know a fun fact? John Laurinaitis is the real life brother to Road Warrior Animals. So yeah. So yeah. The Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six was essentially is a wrestling faction, which basically serves as a spiritual successor to the Wyatt family. So yeah. This group was made following the passing of Bray Wyatt. So yeah. as the group consists of Uncle Howdy, aka Bo Dallas, who, by the way, is the real life brother of Bray Wyatt. Rambling Rabbit, which is played by original Wyatt family member Eric Rowan. Mercy the Buzzard, which is played by Dexter Loomis, aka Samuel Shaw, for you TNA fans. Huskus the Pig, aka Joe Gacy. Fun fact, Huskus the Pig is meant to be a play on Bray Wyatt's old character, Husky Harris. So yeah. And Abby the Witch, which is played by Nikki Cross. Abby the Witch is meant to be a play on the Sister Abigail character. So yeah. So yeah. Yeah, the Uncle Howdy character debuted in 2022 when he aligned himself with Bray Wyatt upon Wyatt's return to WWE. Yeah, both brothers essentially teaming up together for the first time in I think it was a decade. Because remember, the last time Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt teamed up together was in FCW, so yeah. So yeah. There were actually plans. So yeah. The group would form in 2024. Months after, no wait, almost a year after Bray Wyatt's passing, so yeah. So yeah. And they feuded with the likes of American Made. And even the Final Testament, so yeah. And now they barely appeared, as the group is currently on the SmackDown brand, so yeah. Vicky Guerrero. Vicky Guerrero was a manager and former general manager in WWE. She is known for being the widow of Eddie Guerrero. So yeah, as she was and she's known for managing both Edge and Dolph Ziggler. So yeah. And she's known for yelling out, "Excuse me!" to the mic. So yeah, which annoyed fans. So yeah. When she did it. So yeah. Which made her pretty hated by the WWE Universe. And to cap off Tier 1, yes, I'm gonna pretty much do each tier in multiple parts, yeah, guys. And this is the final entry we're doing for this episode, yeah, guys. Since this episode is already long, bruh. And look how long we got, bruh. It's gonna be a long while with this damn iceberg, yeah, guys. And the last entry for this episode, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey was a UFC fighter and WWE superstar. So yeah, as she would be a former World Heavyweight Champion for UFC. Hell, in UFC, she would be dominant, bro. So yeah. In UFC, she would be 12. She'd be 12-2. So yeah. Which is pretty impressive. So yeah. And she would make her first appearance in WWE in 2015 at WrestleMania 31, confronting both Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And he had the Rock by her side. So yeah. And she would make her pro wrestling debut at WrestleMania 34 in a tag team match where he teamed up with Kurt Angle to take on Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. So yeah. So yeah. Okay, so yeah. I forgot that one of the things I forgot is that she did appear at SummerSlam 2014 in the front row. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. And yeah. When I remember when Ronda Rousey she actually got upset for people booing her. So yeah. So yeah. If I can remember correctly. So yeah. So after WrestleMania 35, she would be gone from WWE until she came back at the Royal Rumble 2022, where she would win the Royal Rumble match. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So her 2022 run was not that good, bro, compared to her 2018 and 2019 run. So yeah, in WWE. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. Like her last match, Ronda Rousey's last match in the WWE was at SummerSlam 2023 in an MMA rules match between her and Shayna Baszler, and it was fucking boring, bro. Like I swear, that MMA rules match at SummerSlam 2023 was fucking boring, bro. Like all it was mostly it's just rest holds, bro. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. He would actually criticize our time at WWE. So yeah. So yeah, bro. As she got upset that the fans were booing her, bro. Well, duh, it's wrestling, and then she took it to heart. She took it to heart, bro, of fans booing her, bro, because she being a heel. Like, Wanda is wrestling. That's what wrestling's supposed to be like. The the baby faces get cheered and the heels get booed. It's wrestling. It's fake. No wait, not fake. It's scripted. I was meant to say. So yeah. So yeah. Oh Lord. So yeah. And that'll be it for this episode, y'all guys. And that's essentially it for Tier 1. So yeah. Next episode, I'll be splitting the Tier 2 into like somewhere between 2 to 3 episodes, I would say. So yeah, like look how long these damn tiers are, bro. So yeah, luckily the later tiers is fewer entries in the lower tiers. Luckily, but damn, the early tiers have a lot of entries. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.